The trial that could give New Mexicans another option when dealing with terminal illnesses is set to begin Wednesday.
Now, the issue here is whether doctors can prescribe those patients medicine to end their life. A lawsuit filed in 2012 on behalf of two doctors and a woman in Santa Fe with advanced uterine cancer says under the state's assisted suicide law, it's a felony to deliberately help people take their own lives. Well, now they want a judge to say that should not affect doctors.
The point of our case is that we're saying that this is completely different from suicide, and so it's not at all related to assisting a suicide.
The trial is expected to last for about 2 days, with a decision to come down shortly after. A memorial service now set for Thursday for Sandoval County Sheriff Sergeant Robert Barron. A car hit Sergeant Barron while he was out directing traffic during this snowstorm last Thursday. He was rushed to the hospital, but he died the next day. Services are at 10 Thursday morning at the Santa Ana Star Center in Rio Rancho. The funeral procession starts at 9. Rio Rancho police are warning drivers expect delays. Barron had been with the Sandoval County Sheriff's Office for 8 years. He leaves behind a wife and a 10-year-old son.
Federal jurors in the John McCluskey case are expected to be back in court today. This after they did not return with a verdict yesterday. McCluskey was convicted of killing an Oklahoma couple, Gary and Linda Haas, as they traveled through New Mexico in 2010. He had been on the run at the time after escaping from an Arizona prison. The jury will be deciding whether McCluskey will get the death penalty or life in prison. The state's lottery scholarship program could be among those receiving more money this year. This is great news, folks. Higher Education Secretary Jose Garcia is asking state lawmakers to allocate up to $20 million from the general fund to keep the program going. Increased demand and rising college costs are draining the funds. Ways to restructure the program have been discussed, but lawmakers have not taken any action yet.
533, some good news for the state coffers. New Mexico could have a few extra $100 million to spend next year. In fact, economists expect the state will have $293 million more when the legislature sets the budget starting in January. That could mean a 5% increase in the overall budget, but Governor Susana Martinez doesn't want all of that money to be spent.
Should grow about 3.5% to 4%, and that's where we expect it to grow. But we're also going to grow our reserves so that it's a healthy reserve for those emergencies.
The governor says schools are a top priority. She wants to see some of the money go toward programs to help kids that are struggling to read and to programs that attract more nurses to the state. Meanwhile, Democratic Senator Jerry Ortiz-Pino says the money should go toward building roads and buildings so more people can be put back to work. All right, it is an industry that is growing exponentially here in New Mexico, but unfortunately training for it is not.
Right now, 90% of K through 12 schools in the country do not offer computer science. But today, a nationwide effort to change that comes to Albuquerque. There is a special class that is opening to the public. It's called Deep Dive Coders to learn the basics of computer science. It's a push to get more kids to take advantage of many jobs available in the field. Now, it's all part of a computer science education week that is going on. Program officials say there are 3 software-based jobs for every student in the country, and it's time to get more kids to take those jobs. According to the White House, they have statistics out that say that over 2.38 million STEM jobs from 2018. Now, we spoke with a rep from the Greater Albuquerque Chamber of Commerce, and she says our state has many STEM jobs opportunities. Take a listen.
We have a lot of unique assets here. We have the research universities, and we have the laboratories, and we have a vibrant high-tech community, but we need to see more students entering into the fields of math and science so that we have that workforce to support those assets that we have.
Now, this course that we are talking about starts at 5 p.m. tonight and runs until 7 p.m. If you do miss out on today's event, the Chamber of Commerce recommends that you get your kids involved in science fairs and after-school programs in robotics. How about that? The numbers are in, and so far it looks like not a whole lot of students are choosing to opt out of the state assessment test. Albuquerque Public Schools Tells News 13 fewer than 50 of the district's 89,000 students have opted out. APS School Board Vice President Kathy Court proposed sending letters out to parents telling them their students could opt out of the test, but that didn't pass with board members. Test scores make up half of a teacher's evaluation score. The state public education department argues that tests help schools see where kids are academically and keep educators accountable.